All right. It's that time of day again, you guys. Time for the end of day report. You are listening to the end of day report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com. What up, Red Pill? Thanks for that pre-like, my brother. I appreciate it. How was everybody's day today? I'll tell you this. For some people, the day was tremendous, and they're glad that the day is over. Another sell-off, folks. You know, I was really hoping, and I was hoping that perhaps there would be some sort of a turnaround Tuesday, correction, but it didn't happen. It just did not happen. So it's making me start to wonder and think if something else just might be in play. Now, it's hard to know what that something else really truly is, but I still have to look at it nonetheless. Now, I'm going to tell you just off the rip. I'm thinking that, this whole coronavirus thing, it really is not all that it's cracked up to be. Okay? I think it's being overblown, overdone. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think that COVID-19 is nothing more than control through social, psychological manipulation. They want to scare you to death. And they figure if they just bombard you with nonstop, around the clock newscasts with these talking points, that it will frighten you to death. And if you're scared enough, you'll be willing to do anything to make the pain and stop. All right? So I think that's what's really going on here. I really think that something doesn't feel right about this. I've been saying it since the beginning, and there's been no evidence or proof to come out to prove me wrong. Just keeping it real with you. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Okay, so we have this COVID-19, and, when it first came out, they said that this was, in the flu family. But since when does the flu cause organ failure? Since when does the flu have a mortality rate of like 95 to 98%? All right? A pandemic is something that you can't control or stop or do nothing with. All right? And it has almost 100% kill rate. If you catch it, you die. You're gone. Simple as that. All right? That's not the case. By the own CDC's admission, as per their website, the flu kills about 20,000 people a year. And that's just like in the US alone. This virus, whatever this thing is, I still think it is a military grade weaponized virus. But whatever this thing is, it hasn't killed 20,000 people worldwide. And you want to call it a pandemic? No, I call it a bioweapon. But you are selling it to the American people as a pandemic. Let's follow the money and see who benefits, folks. Follow the money. By them calling this a health crisis, global concern, pandemic, that shakes the money tree. And when you shake the money tree, all types of funding starts to fall from it. So the military will get funding. The CDC will get more funding. The pharmaceutical industrial complex will get some type of backdoor funding. Everyone gets funding. Because when people are scared, they say, charge whatever you want, do whatever you want, just make it stop, make the pain stop. And that's what they will do. Fear of pain can be more painful than the pain itself. Why do you think there's so many immunizations and vaccinations against non-lethal entities? Mumps? Since when does someone die from the mumps? Chicken pox? There's too many, I can't even name them. And then every year, get your flu shot. You don't even know what strain of flu is going to be out this year based on your own admission. So the flu shot is 0% effective. According to you, there's an innumerable amount of strains, and you have no idea which strain is going to pop. And the vaccine that you're giving people is for a particular strain. And if that's not the strain that's hitting this season, then you just wasted time and money. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay? So here we are. Everybody's shook, and the funding is about to drop. The biggest funding of all is the Federal Reserve, printing more money. Help us. You need to bail out the stock market. They've been bailing out the stock market for 20 years. How much more bailout do you need? They've been supporting the stock market for 20 years. Non-stop stimulus, non-stop money printing. You printed money for 1987. You printed money for the 2000 NASDAQ bubble. You printed money again on 9/11. You printed money again in 2003. You printed money again in 2008, 2009. You printed money again in 2011 and 2013. You won't stop printing money. They keep printing money. And that's what this is all about. Money. Follow the money. Who benefits? Who benefits from China being hit the hardest with COVID-19? Everybody, especially the United States of America. Right at the pinnacle of trade talks, boom, COVID-19 hits. Everything was stalemated. China was not budging. Now they're begging for any type of deal. I'm telling you, folks, something does not set right about this. And again, they're banking on the populace being dumb, stupid sheeple. All right? That's what they are betting on. The dumb masses. They think everyone is dumb and stupid and gullible and ignorant, and you will do whatever they tell you to do. You'll vote how they tell you to vote. You'll do what they tell you to do, regardless of how silly, regardless of how ignorant it is, you will do it. And that's what they're banking on. They're banking on the public being sheeple. All right? You say, no, man, the people are hip to what's going on, man. You got it all wrong. Well, then why was everybody plastering their houses with plastic and putting plastic on their windows? Remember that a few years ago? Remember that? Like some plastic on your window was going to do something against a radiation attack? No plastic on your window is going to stop anything. Please. See what I'm saying? People are easily led astray. So that brings us to where we are now. So now we have the ramifications and consequences of this militarized weapon. This militarized weapon is showing itself to be just as powerful, if not more, than a nuclear blast. Look at all of the destruction that it is causing. It's forcing people to take money off the table in the markets, something they should have done already, something that they were going to do at some point regardless of a coronavirus or anything else. Money was going to come off the table at some point. I always teach to take money as you make the money. Take the money. All right. Take profits off the table as you make those profits. You'll never go broke taking profits. But if you wait too long, you can lose all your profits. So that's why it's good to take profits along the way. But see, here's the thing, though. You know, they're scaring you, the retail guy. They're making you take all of your money out of the market. But see, here's the thing, though. It's impossible now because of the way globalism has shaped our landscape. A lot of people have money in 401ks still. A lot of people have money in mutual funds still. And guess what? Those things are vested 100% of the time. All right? 100% of the time, a mutual fund has to have at least 60% of its assets in the market at all times. It cannot be in all cash. It cannot. It can have a very small percentage of its assets in cash, but not all of it. It cannot do that. It has to be in the market. Money has to be put in the market. And you can't just say, I'm just going to pull out all my 401k. Oh, really? Well, then here's this huge tax bill and penalties to go with it. And in some cases, you can't even do that. So, no, your money is stuck there. So here's the thing. While the sheep are running toward the exit, people like Warren Buffett is sitting back, laughing and salivating because he's about to go in and buy a lot of these companies dirt cheap. Now, don't get it twisted. Nothing on Wall Street is dirt cheap. We got 20 years of stimulus. The Dow has like 20,000+ points of inflated bubble money printing, Federal Reserve meddling caked into it. So it can stand to shed a few pounds. The Dow can fall 10,000 points tomorrow and still be in a bull market in secular terms. So you need to understand that. Okay. Now, what are you going to do about it? That's the question. What you going to do about it? You got to watch, you got to wait, and you got to act. You cannot be inactive. You don't get to sit on the sidelines and do nothing while the politicians that the masses of people voted for are tearing your world apart and making it hard for you to breathe, making it hard for you to do anything. All right. You don't want to be paralyzed by fear. All right. Because there's nothing to fear, but they'll tell you that. And now that they feel that they've already accomplished whatever their initial goal was in China, now they're ready to scare you to death and say, okay, get ready, America, it's coming here next. How do you know that if this is not a controlled action? How do you know that? How do you know where it's going next? If this is such a act of randomness, then how do you know where and when it's going? How do you know that it hasn't just died out already? How do you know that? How do you know it's not contained? Here's another question that people aren't asking. I thought that the healthcare system was so all of that. I thought that in times of crisis like this, that those that tout their socialist system of healthcare was superior. If it's so superior, then you don't have to really worry about this virus spreading, right? Right? Because I mean, that's what you're saying. You're saying that you're superior, you're a superpower nation. You don't have anything to worry about. Now, if you're a third world country, then you should be pretty afraid, right? But according to the medical community, there's not one case of this has showed up in the continent of Africa or South America. Not one case has showed up in South America or the continent of Africa. How do you explain that? If this is a pandemic, how is it not there? How is it not there? You claim there's a case of it in Iran. but you don't hear about it anywhere else in the Middle East, and you don't hear about it in the entire continent of Africa or the entire continent of South America. No Argentina, no Bolivia, no Uruguay, none of that. I ain't heard nothing. Chile, nothing. Nothing. What's up with that? But this is a pandemic, though, right? Everybody should be shook, right? Oh, it's coming to America next. How do you know where it's going and how it's jumping and how it's moving? And you claim you don't know nothing about it, and this is something that you've never seen before, and you don't even have a cure for it. But you know where it's going, though. You don't know how to treat it. You don't know how to stop it, but you know where it's going. So you have an itinerary now. So COVID-19 has an itinerary. Is that so? So it's traveling on Northwestern Airlines. Is that how it's getting around? Or is it hitching a ride on some type of cargo plane from the Army? Is that how it's getting around? Because it's not going by boat. We already know that those cruise lines are stuck still in the water, can't come on land. So you ain't traveling by boat. If he travels by boat, he's gonna be quarantined. He won't be able to get off the boat. So he has to be flying. I think that's the only way he can get around is by flying. I mean, what do you think? So COVID-19 is really a person now. So the virus is self-aware. This militarized drug is self-aware. And we're dealing with an artificial intelligence that knows that has expert navigational skills and knows how to go from continent to continent. So let me get this straight. You said, okay, this is a pandemic. You're saying it's basically going to go everywhere. It's going to be global, right? But how do you explain how it's traveled so far? Now, we know that China is one of the most visited places on Earth, right? People from all over the world are going in and out of there every day, right? But when you look at the map of where cases have shown up, you got a little dash, not even a sprinkling, but a dash in the US already. But you ain't got nothing in Mexico. You ain't got nothing in South America. You ain't got nothing in Central America. You ain't got nothing in Africa. Really? But you got a couple in the US, though. And you got it in Europe. Very interesting, isn't it? See, you got to follow the money, man. That's all I'm trying to say. You got to follow the money. And you got to not panic. They want people to panic. They want you to be shook so they can do whatever they want. All right? That's what's up. That's what they want you to do. Don't do it. I know they call it a pandemic, but it's not a pandemic. If this was a pandemic, like I said, your neighbors across the street would already be dead and you would be sick right now. All right? It'll be like a kill shot. As soon as you get the thing, you're out of here. All right? This is not that. All right? This is not the Black Death. You got to be careful when you throw around words, man. You don't say pandemic. It's not a pandemic. A pandemic, you can't do nothing about it. You can't stop it. It's out of control. It's infecting people left and right, and everybody's dropping like flies around you. Everybody dropping. If it was a pandemic, you would already have lost a loved one. Everyone under the sound of my voice right now would have already lost a loved one, a close relative or family, or even a coworker, somebody that you know personally would have already died from this. If this was a real pandemic. Pandemics are not slow moving. They are fast. They are like lightning, like a lightning strike. And it travels quick and fast. Everyone knows that. Also, if this was a pandemic, do you really think that any planes will be leaving the ground? Come on, let's keep it 100. No country will want to risk anything coming from overseas, from another country, where there's even a case of one person being infected. Are you serious? Come on, man. I'm saying, This is all political theater. It's an election year too. Let's not forget that, folks. It is an election year. Do you really think that they don't know what they're doing? Follow the money. Like I said, who benefits? When you say pandemic, the money tree is shaking and apples are starting to fall from the tree. Those apples represent funds, funding. The CDC is going to get broke off. The military is going to get broke off. All right, some vaccine manufacturers going to get broke off. Are you kidding? The CDC going to get broke off. I'm telling you. Follow the money. Somebody's getting broke off from this. All right? It's not what they say it is. A pandemic is deadly. Everyone dies. This is not that. Once again, according to the CDC's own website, going back decades, they tell you couple of 10,000 people die a year from the flu. We don't have 30,000 deaths reported globally. We don't have that globally yet. How is this a pandemic? How is this a pandemic? If anything, cancer is a pandemic. How about that? Cancer is a pandemic. Millions of people die globally from cancer. Millions of people. Millions. Everyone under the sound of my voice knows somebody personally who has either a cancer survivor or died from cancer. Me included. I can name several. Close relatives and friends. So can you say the same for COVID-19? No, you can't. You would be hard pressed. If I pressed you right now, if I put a 45 to your dome right now and said, I want you to tell me 5 people that you know personally that has died from COVID-19, and you got 30 seconds. You wouldn't be able to name one. But this is a pandemic, and it's been around since November, December of last year, and here we are smiling at March. Really? That's all you got, pandemic? That's all you got, COVID-19? Huh? Really? You've been out for like 6 months and this is all you can do, but this is a pandemic? Come on, man. Really? Really? You can't kill 100,000 people in 6 months and you're a pandemic? Whatever, man. Whatever. I'm gonna move on. I just have to stress this, folks. There's so much fake news about this, and it's being given to you by the mainstream media. They're lying to you. Remember what I told you. Remember what I told you when this story first broke. I said, there's nothing to this story. I said, however, if as the days and weeks go on and they start claiming that this thing is morphing into something that they didn't know, and then the narrative starts changing and they claim people start dying, I said, then you're dealing with a weaponized virus, because you don't go from being benign to just exploding into a pandemic overnight. That is not how viruses work. Not like that. In this case, AIDS is a pandemic because millions of people have been affected by AIDS and died by AIDS. You can claim that for AIDS, but you cannot claim that from COVID-19 because people aren't dropping like that. I remember when AIDS first hit hard in the 80s, man. It hit hard. People were shook. Everybody was shook. People didn't even want to use public toilets. People didn't want to shake hands. People were shook. Straight up. Shook. You had more women turning to the going to the Abbey and becoming nuns back then because everybody was shook. You had dudes saying, I'm a priest now. I've taken a vow of chastity. I ain't touching a, I ain't touching a woman no more. Forget that. Everybody was shook. I will never forget that. And it was something that no one had ever heard of before, and they didn't know how it was transmitted, and everybody was panicking. Everybody thought the world was coming to an end, and then they lied. See, this is history repeating itself. They lied about it in the beginning. They said, "Oh, this is only a homosexual disease." And then they added to it, oh, well, it's really a homosexual disease, and it's also, because of IV drug users. So this is a junkie thing. If you're not gay and if you're not a junkie, you ain't got nothing to worry about. How wrong they were. Do you know that information leaked out some years after that proved that the spread of AIDS was like 100 times worse than what they reported? I'm not kidding. I remember seeing all types of statistics and stuff, man, that was shocking. And that right there was scary. Now that was a pandemic. That was scary. All right. This is nothing. This is nothing. When that AIDS thing first hit, man, it spread like nothing I've ever seen in my life. It was global. Like, bam. The news hit today. Bam. Tomorrow, a whole continent's gone up. By the weekend, bam, it's everywhere. Everybody talking about it. And then it didn't stop there. Then you had movie stars and celebrities dropping, right? And people was like, oh, well, these people, they said they were gay, it's a gay thing. But then all of that was shut down when people's mama and daddy and sister and brother and cousin and aunts and uncles and best friends and girlfriends and boyfriends and teachers and co-workers and bosses, when all of them people start dropping, now, okay, we got to change the narrative and tell people the truth now. See what I'm saying? That's a pandemic, folks. In my lifetime, I have never heard or seen anything like that since. AIDS was off the chain, and it was frightening. It was scary. It was terrifying. Everybody and their mother was wanting to get tested. All right. And the information as far as the truth about it was very slow. And over time, the narrative was changing, and it was okay. You can get it this way. You can't get it that way. You can. It was crazy. All right. It was crazy. This ain't that. See, I bet you if I took that same 45 out and put it to your dome now and said, you got 30 seconds to give me 5 names of people that you know personally that died from the AIDS virus or is currently living HIV, I bet you could name me about 10, 15, 20 of those. But not even thinking about it, just right off the top of your head, boom. That's a pandemic. This is not. This is not. Now, if it becomes one, understand, again, this is definitely a man-made thing. It is a weapon, and it is being used and turned on the people. All right? You got to know that, folks. You have to know that. This is not how pandemics work. This is not how that works. All right? I got AIDS over the COVID-19, hands down, no contest. I got AIDS over that. All right? Hands down. COVID-19 ain't got nothing on AIDS. Nothing. Can't see it, can't touch it. AIDS has killed tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions of people. How many people has COVID-19 killed? And it's been out 6 months? 6 months? Are you kidding? 6 months and you ain't, where the bodies at? Even if China is lying about their numbers, they still ain't got more bodies than AIDS had when it came out. Not at all. Nope. Not at all. This is not what they say that it is. It's something else. All right? I'm just saying it's something else. The markets are reflecting something else. The market sell-off, I don't care what they say, has nothing to do with COVID-19. It has everything to do with this election that's coming up in November. All right? I'm gonna put y'all onto some game real quick. The closer we get to November, you're gonna see all types of volatility in these markets. If it's looking like Bernie is gonna get in that office or any type of a socialist, you ain't seen a sell-off in the stock market yet. Then instead of people taking profit, it's gonna be people running to the exit, wanting to take all their money out immediately. They say, we will take the tax consequence, cash me in my 401k, cash me in all of my money, run me my money right now. That's what you're going to be hearing, run me my money. And you know what? It could even be a run on the American banks then in a scenario like that. Because those that got money going to be like, yo, run me my money. Because they're not going to want to get that money taken from them like Bernie and his PAC has said that they're basically going to do by taxing the rich to death. And really, that's just code word for taxing everybody. You've never known them just to only focus on one group of people, i.e. the rich. They always tax you, the little guy. The rich get a pass. They get to go free. There's a loophole for them. All right? They have immunity. You don't. Okay? I'm just saying, folks. If Bernie gets in this office, I believe there is a possibility that the 20 years of federal stimulus to the markets can disappear between now and the day of the election. And I'm not even being funny. I'm being dead serious. Straight up. Dead serious. You ain't seen nothing yet. Now, we're a long way from that point. These markets are not falling because of no COVID-19, folks. How do you know that, Dex? You think you know everything. You don't know nothing. You know what? Peep this. If the U.S. stock market was really falling because of COVID-19, let me ask you this. Now, you know you hear me when I read you the news in the morning when we do our pre-market post scan, right? When I give you the readout of the markets across the world, right? I know you listen when I give you those numbers, right? Tell me, why wasn't Asia down precipitously like the U.S.? Why not? The last couple of days they've been down 0.3%, 0.4%. Why aren't they collapsing? Why isn't the Hang Seng Index basically teeter-tottering above zero right now? Shouldn't it be? It's not. It's not. It's not. Stocks all over the world would be getting crushed right now if this was because of COVID-19. Instead, what you're seeing is a localized sell-off. Now, I know people are going to try to justify, they're going to try to debunk what I just said. They're going to say, well, you see, Dex, during the lead ups, if you go back from November till now, the U.S. really just ignored all of that and just rallied in spite of all of that. And now they're finally waking up that this is really serious. And now that's why the market's selling off. You still didn't answer the question. What about the rest of the world? Why aren't they selling off? I'm waiting. I don't hear any answers because you don't have one. You can't explain it. Now, I'm going to kill you with the last fact right here, and then we're going to move on. If this was really a serious pandemic, and everybody should be shook, then why was gold, silver, Bitcoin, and altcoins getting punished today in the market? Where was the flight to quality? Where was the flight to safety? I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. And bonds were down too. I don't hear anything. Where's the money going, folks? Come on, somebody speak up. Come on, class. Where's the money going? You can't say flight to quality. You can't say flight to safety because gold got smashed, silver couldn't move, Bitcoin got hammered, bonds pulled back. I'm waiting. The Dow down 1,000 points. You trying to tell me gold can't rise $5 while the Dow is down 1,000? You trying to tell me that the long bond can't move up at least 10, 30 seconds on a sell-off like that? Okay, here's another one for you. If that was too hard of a question, I'll come back to that one. I'll give you another easy one. You ready? Why weren't the inverse ETFs moving harder than they were over the last 2 days? The Dow loses 2,000 points and the DXD can't even get a $5 move? What? Really? Really? I don't hear anything. I'm waiting. I don't hear anything. Name your inverse ETF. Come on, I'm waiting. Name them. What? DXD, QID, SDS. I'm waiting. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. You want to know why? Because the quote unquote smart money knows that this is not true. It's not real. That's why. They know that something is off. Something doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't pass the smell test. It's failing the smell test. It doesn't look right. Oh, and by the way, too, even your dollar has come down today, too, guys. The dollar. All of your asset classes are in the red. What is going on? Where is the money going? No one can seem to answer that $1 million question. We have a winner. We have a winner. Red pill. Ding, 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 ding. Money is on the sidelines waiting to buy up the dip. That means people are going into cash. Ding, 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 ding. There you go. We have a winner. So that should tell you that what you are seeing is not real. If this was a real run, to the exit, man, they wouldn't be able to keep cool the market down. They would have to flip them switches and put them curbs in. Remember y'all back in the day? I know y'all remember back in the day, especially in the early 2000s and late 90s. Remember when they would pop up on the screen, they would say the Dow has curbs in, to cool the market off because it's rallying too much or falling too much. Y'all remember those days? You ain't heard that in a minute. But that's what would be happening. The Dow would be down a couple thousand points. Gold would be up $100. Bonds would be like limit up over 2 points. You would see stuff like that. And in today's market, you would have saw Bitcoin probably up, a couple of $1,000. You ain't seeing none of that because people don't believe it. People aren't as stupid as the government thinks they are. They're not. Now I'm going to show you something else. Let's look at these charts. Peep these charts. If this don't show you, I don't know what will. If you can't get it from this, I have no idea what it will take. All right, so the first chart is the Dow futures on the daily. Look at that parabolic bar. Nasty bar. That's a nasty bar, y'all. All right, almost a 2,000 point trading range. Good, googly goods. In the last couple of days, we done lost thousands of points in the Dow. Mad technical damage on the chart. Just mad technical damage. Look at that. You went from a bull market to a bear market at the snap of a finger. Ouch. You're in official corrective state. All right. Circuit breakers are broken right now. I think the triggers are jammed You came off of this primary crash alert, secondary crash alert, and look at this. Look at the legs. We just cut through that Kumo cloud like a hot knife through butter. Where's the bottom? We don't know. It's falling off of a cliff with acceleration. Got to be a bounce somewhere, right? I don't know. You was up here flirting with 30,000. Now you're threatening to drop below 25,000. This is crazy price action. And this is just 2 days right here worth of action. We was up here. I'm just saying, folks, these crash and rally alerts is butter. Ignore them at your own risk. So this is your Dow. It's looking crazy right now on the chart. All right. Now, those of you that want to risk and put a short on, have at it. But right now, you're really late to the party. Don't know how much further we're going to go before we get a bounce. And don't forget, when you're in a bear market rallies can be monstrous. I've seen bear market rallies that are stronger than the dips. We could get a rally tomorrow and be right back up in here. I'm just saying. So be careful. All right. If you're going to take a short, be careful. Make sure you got your stops in, have some tight stops, and be ready to get out at a moment's notice. Okay. But yeah, it's an ugly chart, man. Massive. Here's your next one. This is the NASDAQ 100. Now, it's not as bad as your Dow. And remember, these gaps got to get filled at some point. But it's still down, though. It's still below the trend line support, and we closed below it. You know, another close or two below this trend line support, and it's OVA. Market's going to threaten to go down to this Kumo cloud, which is around 83, which means you got another 500 points to the downside. You can go in the NASDAQ 100. Bears are in full control of these equity markets at this time. All right, taking a look here. All right, this is your hack. Notice how hack is looking exactly like the U.S. stock market, y'all. Now, I want you just to look at this chart for a minute. This looks just like the Dow chart. And this is hack. So you're telling me that it's all good, hack? Are you telling me that we have no cyber threats to worry about? No nothing? Look at that same gap. Same gap. Hack is our Illuminati index. The Illuminati index is collapsing too. So that means it's all peace in the land and we ain't got nothing to worry about. We got this double top head and shoulders thing going on. So this thing is just going to roll over back down to 30. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's something that you cannot ignore. They're trying to say it's all good in the hood. Ain't no cyber threats. Ain't no false flags. I guess they got everything they need with the COVID-19, right? Here's GDXJ. GDXJ had that crash alert yesterday, and look what happened. All right? We fall. All right? In sympathy with gold. Remember I warned you that that could happen? That we could get that sympathy fall down with gold? Well, that's exactly what's happening right now. All right? So top of the Kumo cloud support, but again, threatening to go to that 41 level or even possibly lower. Gold has to bail it out at some point, right? All right, so here is gold futures now. Primary crash alert for tomorrow, for tonight into tomorrow for the gold futures. And we finally filled that gap. Maybe we get a technical bounce tomorrow. All right, just watch this one though, because gold has been known to get smashed down on rallies before. So just watch it. All right, just watch it. See what happens. This crash alert, you cannot ignore that. All right, so I'm looking at a possible downside tomorrow in gold, tonight into tomorrow for gold futures, and that will affect GDXJ. It will affect it greatly. All right, let's see here. Looking at GBTC, which is our Bitcoin ETF equivalent, we had those double top warnings of the primary crash alerts. and we have since played out, and we've gone 2 legs lower, and we've closed below trend line support, threatening to go into the Kumo cloud, which will drop this thing below 10 bucks. Say it ain't so, Bitcoin. Bears in control right now. Looking at the euro yen, which is our map for US equities, and it is also falling. And it's below the Kumo cloud. And it's below the trend line support. So the rally alert, we did get more rallying, but then the market just reversed and gave it all up. So that's telling me we're going to get a monster bear market rally bounce in the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell at some point after these multiple legs come in first. So if this is a roadmap to the U.S. stock indexes, then we have a long way to go before we get that big rally bounce. But then it's going to come right back down again. This could be a nasty bear market cycle coming up, if that's true. Is the Canadian dollar going to get pulled down in concert with crude oil? Well, so far, it's weighing on it a little bit, but it's not really falling over like crude oil. It's moving in the opposite. It's acting more like a currency right now. All right. It's not acting like a commodity. So crude oil is not benefiting with it. But this is where we are right now. And we'll see if this thing starts to roll over, though. If maybe the crude oil vortex is too much for it to overcome, and it's gonna pull it down. We'll see. Right now, it's acting like a currency and it's being strong, but how much more of it can it take? I don't know. It broke correction. Got a rally alert here, but no follow through today. Perhaps we'll get follow through on it tomorrow. We got 3 to 5 days outlook for this rally alert to play out, unless we get a crash alert to cancel it. All right, next we got Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's kind of holding its own. We did get a little bit of a pullback, but it is trying. All right, it's trying. All right, and you had these back-to-back crash alerts. I told you 9,000 was in play, and here we are. That 9,200 to 9,000 support range, and the market's here. It's saying hi. How you doing? We hit 9,200 on the composite futures Bitcoin index already, and now we're sitting at 9,240. So it's right. It's saying hi. How you doing? Remember me? How you doing? All right. So what else y'all need me to tell you? I told you crash alert. Here's that trend line right here. And you got this huge air pocket between the trend line support and the top of the Kumo cloud, and it's a narrow cloud, which means price action can just cut right down through it. So it's not looking good right at this moment. I don't see a reversal just yet, and I see a new vein starting of bearish weekly momentum. So let's see what happens, man. This is this could get quite ugly if we get down here to that 9,000. I want to see that 10,000 support, man. I want to see that base. These digs down here be well below that 10,000 is not cool. I want to see that 10,000 base. Then we can really take off like a rocket. We'll see if we keep getting these ugly legs down in the stock market. Will that light a fire under this Bitcoin? So that's the $1 million question. But so far, I have no new signal except for the bearish one. All right. Here's the XLF financial spider looking just like the Dow, man. Look at this range on this. This is saying that the financial sector is garbage right now. It's toast. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all, fam. What's going on with the financial sector, man? What's really good? What's really good? That's what I want to know. What's up with the financial sector, y'all? Somebody, what's up? Look at this. Look at this nasty gap. This is terrible. Now I warned you You had this secondary crash alert right after the primary crash alert. Back-to-back alerts. I warned you about that this was a possibility, and I warned you about it falling below the Kumo cloud, and that's exactly what has happened. Ignore rally and crash alerts at your own peril, folks. Just saying. Moving right along. TLT, looking at these bonds. Bonds are still smoking hot. All right, they're still smoking hot. You have not filled back and filled this gap, or this gap, or this gap, or this gap, or this gap. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. This thing is floating in the air. All right, bullish as can be. We'll have to watch it for clues. All right, that's all I got, man. That's all I got, man. I've been looking at a lot of things here, and I will continue to do so to bring you the up-to-the-date stuff. You'll know the turning points before they come if you are subscribed to PulseWaveTrading.com. You're going to want to hurry and rush and get there immediately. The $69 a month deal is still on the table, but it will not be much longer if you delay. If you want to capture these incredible moves and laugh all the way to the bank once the truth comes out that the COVID ain't nothing, and it is waning and the stock market's rallying again or what have you, you don't want to be missing out. All right. So just saying, we make money when markets fall as well as when markets go up. All right. So if you want to beat the central banks at their own game, you need an algorithm. PulseWave Price Triggers is that algorithm. They will put the power back into your hands, take control of your finances, make that money. I don't care if you work in Walmart or McDonald's. You can afford the $69 a month, and you can double your salary, what you're making at Walmart and McDonald's. All right? Follow the system, and you will be just fine. Give yourself an additional income stream. Prove it to yourself. You can do this. It's not hard. I did all the hard work, heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to. PulseWaveTrading.com. And remember, folks, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. See y'all in the morning for pre-market post scan. Peace.